All right, we're going to get started in just a minute here. The only other thing we need today, other than the stretching strap kind of thing and the foam roller, is a chair. There's one stretch we're going to do that will be helpful if you have a chair to do it on. So let's get our foam rollers and head to the mat. We're going to start in the usual way with our foam rolling of the back. So just taking that foam roller perpendicular to the spine and working up and down the spine in a way that kind of helps release everything. So we're all nice and warmed up, right? From a little bit of exercise. So let's keep rolling back and forth there. Okay. Okay. Right. Remembering to stop if you feel any points that feel particularly tight to you, and you can just kind of roll yourself over the back and forth on that spot. We have hips and shoulders today. The great thing about that is it will release those areas, but hips, if anybody here has low back pain, the work that we're doing in hips really helps with that. So that's nice. That's like an added benefit. Getting the hips to release and feel a little looser is very helpful for low back pain. Similarly, shoulders, your shoulders will feel more loose after today, but kind of like the hips have that added benefit of making the back feel better, the shoulders have the added benefit of making the neck feel better. So they're both very connected. So a lot of times, you know, when I can help people with getting their shoulders to relax and loosen up a little bit, they will notice their neck feels a little bit better too. So maybe some of you will even feel those kind of benefits today. All right, so let's talk about the hips. The hips in general, it's a large area. You know, you can talk about the hip flexors like we did last stretch and roll. It could be everything, all the glutes in the back. So I have a picture for everyone again, so you can kind of visualize exactly what we're going to be working on. Picture on the left here. So you can see I have these yellow circles around that upper part where that red muscle is. That's your glute medius. We're going to be focusing mostly on that today. So just a little visual for you to understand what we're going to be working on. And for the first active release mobilization with the foam roller, what you want to do is start with the foam roller on your sacrum. Don't have it up any farther up your back, but down. Top of it's going to be where your sacrum is. And then we're going to end up rotating it over to the side, kind of where you saw that red muscle. So let's lay on top of our foam rollers and put it where I just showed you. So starting out on the sacrum, and then let's roll to that left side. So you're going to take the foam roller out to where you want to feel you're still on muscle. You don't want to feel punchy like you're on bone. And then what we're going to do is, once you've got a position that's comfortable to hang out in there, actively release that by bringing the knee in towards the chest and back out. Now, what you might not be able to see is I've kind of got my legs splayed out to the side. So in other words, don't bring your knee straight in, but actually let it kind of fall to the side towards the edge of the mat as you are bringing the knee in and out. So this is actively moving that glute medius muscle back and forth over the foam roller. Good. Nice deep breath. All right, so now we're going to switch it to the right side. So you're rolling, put it right on your sacrum and then roll over to your right side. So that glute medius area where you saw the red muscle on the picture. And you're going to take the knee in and out again to do that active release on that hip muscle. You may have to adjust left or right an inch or so. This might be a little uncomfortable if you have tight hips, but it shouldn't be excruciating. So if it's excruciating, just kind of move off what area you're on a little bit to the left or right. And you should make it manageable. Should feel good after a minute. We're gonna do this for a few more seconds and then we're gonna stretch our hips with a strap. Okay. All right. So let's get your strap or your towel or whatever you're using for stretching today. You're going to start out on your back. Loop the strap around the middle of your foot. It's kind of going around the arch of your foot. Let's start with the left foot, just so we're all on the same page. We're stretching the left hip. So you're going to bend that knee. And I'm going to give you this angle, so maybe it helps. This is kind of like a figure 4 stretch. So what I'm doing is just pulling back towards myself. And so I'm pulling the left foot towards my chest by pulling on this strap that's around it. So what you're going to feel is a stretch in the hip. Now to tease apart exactly where we're feeling it, you're going to feel it differently depending on how bent your knee is. So if you open up the knee really far, you're really not going to feel it in the hip too much. It's going to actually probably more the side of your leg and your back. But if you really bend your knee more and pull back, then you're going to feel a lot more in that hip, that left hip. Couple deep breaths here. Sink into that stretch. I like to hold this one with both of my hands, so it's less work. Always, as you know, about making stretching and foam rolling less work as much as possible. Because in general, the more relaxed you can be overall, whatever body part you're trying to actually relax does better. All right, so let's switch sides. Right foot goes into that strap. Now on the middle of your right foot, and now you're pulling, preferably with both hands, pulling that right foot towards your chest. You can have your other leg out straight, or if you want to kind of have it bent to help support your right foot, like this, that's fine too. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do another foam rolling mobilization with our hips. You're going to have the foam roller in pretty much the same position you had it for the last thing that we did on the hips, where you're starting with it kind of on your sacrum and then you're sliding it to the side to get into that glute medius muscle. So underneath of your body, that foam roller is going to be in pretty much the same position. but we're going to be not doing an active release. This time we're kind of be moving our whole body back and forth over. I'll show you what that looks like. So on your back again, that foam roller should be on the sacrum, and then slide it off to your left side. And what we're going to do is just rock the hips from left to right. So we're massaging all the way from the edge of the sacrum all the way out to that left hip bone. Now, as a general rule, you're not really going to benefit from massaging on top of bones. It's not really even a good idea. But I do mention it here because it gives us all a familiar landmark as far as like where to go, the landscape that we're working on here. So when you feel like you're working out towards the edge of the left hip bone, you can stop. You don't need to go over that hip bone. Same with when you get to the sacrum, you can go to the edge of the sacrum and then just kind of working those hips from left to right. That should feel pretty good to you, getting into that glute medius muscle there. Let's switch sides, take it over to the right. The same thing, moving those hips from left to right to get into that glute medius muscle. So what we're going to do next, in a few more seconds, we're going to do this stretch that it'll work on your hips, but you're also going to feel it kind of travel down the leg too. Everything's connected, so it's good to get in a little bit of leg stretch as well with this next stretch that we're doing. You'll see what I mean. All right, so let's go ahead and grab a strap, whatever you're stretching with this morning. And let's start with the left leg. Same position as before, kind of just around the middle of your foot. So everybody's got a strap around the middle of their left foot. Take both ends of the strap in your right hand and keep that left leg straight and let it fall over to the right side of your body, all the way off the right side of the mat. And what you should feel is a nice pull through the hips, but into that side IT band, side of your thigh a little bit too. Important to keep that leg as straight as possible, that left leg as straight as possible to kind of maintain that stretching tension. So you're holding on to the straps or the towel or whatever you're using with your right hand. Keep that right elbow on the ground. In other words, don't grab close to your foot and get yourself all wrenched up into a position where you're off the mat, but relax, head and shoulders on the mat, right elbow on the floor. And we're just breathing, just holding on with that right hand and breathing, letting that left leg fall even further and further towards the ground as you feel that stretch through your left hip. Really good. Okay, switch sides. Right foot in that strap. Take both of the ends in your left hand. Let that right leg stay straight and fall all the way as far as you can comfortably go across the left side of your body. So that right leg is straight all the way over to your, moved all the way over to the left side of your body as much as you can. I don't know about you, but this feels pretty good after the work we did this morning. I love stretching and foam rolling after exercise. Feels really good. So in a few seconds, we're going to switch gears and head to the shoulders. And I'm going to show you another picture for that. So let's take a look. Shoulders is another one of those areas that when people say my shoulder hurts, they could mean here, they could mean here, they could mean back here. Like it's a lot of different areas. So I will give you a visual so you can tell exactly what we are working on. So we've got two areas we're going to work on that are shoulder related today. The first one is going to be this red circle here. Those are where some of your rotator cuff muscles are. And when those get tight, it causes a lot of problems. So you're going to zero in on that first. And then we're going to come up to this upper trap area here. Probably show you that again when we get there. But all right, so let me just show you. We're going to be lying on our side on the foam roller, but I'm just going to kind of show you where the position is that you want to have the foam roller. So you want to have it where that red circle was. So it's not on your arm, not on the middle of your back, but kind of like at that area where your shoulder becomes, your arm becomes part of your torso. So that's where you're going to have it there. So we're going to be, let's start on our left shoulder. So you're going to be lying on your left side on that foam, that area there. Here again, let's make it relaxing. Let's give ourselves a little pillow. So I've got my left arm out straight, but I've also got my right hand just kind of like cupped on top of my left shoulder like a little pillow, right? We're just going to relax there. So what I want you to do is bend your left arm at a right angle, and we're going to actively release. So we're going to take the palm to the ground and then fingertips to the ground. So we're just kind of rotating back and forth like that. Now, if you have really tight shoulders, this might be kind of uncomfortable. So just move, if you don't have that full range of motion of getting to the ground in each direction, just use whatever range of motion you have, and you'll still get a good benefit from what we're doing here and releasing this shoulder area. And you can always move forward and back a little bit on the foam roller if it feels like it's on an extra sensitive area. Like I said, shouldn't be excruciating. So just move, adjust a little bit if you feel like it's really, really sharp pain or anything like that. Okay, so let's switch sides. Okay, so now we're going to put that foam roller under our right rotator cuff area. Remember where that red circle was on the picture? Going to lay on the right side. Make a little pillow for yourself if you like with that other hand. So elbows on the ground, and you're just rotating palm to the ground, and then the back of your hand to the ground, back and forth. For me, this is one of those areas. So last time we worked into that TFL, where if it's really tight, it's kind of uncomfortable a little bit to work into sometimes, but the payoff is so good. If you can get those muscles to relax in either of those areas, the TFL or the shoulder, like we're doing right now, it's worth it. You feel a lot better after you get this area to let go. Okay. A few more seconds here, and then I'm going to show you a stretch for this area. Okay, so just worked on the right side. Let's stretch the right side. So I'm going to have everybody stand. Place your right elbow inside your left elbow. You're doing that. Right elbow inside left elbow. So that looks like this. And now what you're going to do is wrap your hands around each other like this. So you're trying to twist your hands around each other like this. And then you're trying to pull your elbows out away from your body and up. And as you pull up, you're really going to feel that stretch in your right shoulder area that we were just working in. It may not even take much pulling up to really feel that stretch in there. Good. You've got your, yep, right elbow into the left and pulling up. All right, let's switch it up. So now we're gonna place left elbow into the crook of the right elbow and wrap those hands around. And now you're pulling up towards the ceiling as well. Everyone looks good. So what we'll focus on after this is the upper trap. I'm going to show you the picture again, what part of the shoulder that is. It's kind of like the connection between the neck and shoulder, to be honest. Very commonly tight muscle. A lot of times, if you're feeling stressed, you'll feel tension in this muscle. All right, so you can keep stretching if you want. I'm gonna just pull up a picture, that upper trap. So right now what we just worked on is this red circle area here, where you got some rotator cuff muscles. And we're gonna switch gears to the blue circle here. So this area is where we're gonna be working on with the foam roller and the stretching next. So that is considered upper trap. There are other muscles there too, but one of the main ones is your upper trap. So we're going to be lying on top of our foam rollers again, but as usual, I'm going to show you the picture, the visualization of where you want that to be. You want the edge of the foam roller to be right on where you saw that blue circle in the picture. So kind of for frame of reference, you've got this big, like, knobby spine here. That's your C8, your spine here. You can start there, but you don't want to massage there. You could start there as a guidance point and then kind of slide off to the side, and you'll be working up in this area here. So we're going to go ahead and lay on the ground and put that foam roller in that area here. You may have to wiggle around a little bit to get it right, to feel like it's on a spot that works for you, but it should feel relaxing. You should be able to have your head on the ground. And also, as we're doing this, you may need to reposition because it does come out a little bit in this position. Sometimes it moves away from your body, but let's find that spot, and then we're going to active release by pressing your hand up and lowering it, pressing your hand up above your head and lowering it like this. Do you ever feel like you have like a knot in your shoulder after a stressful day, or maybe you've been looking at a computer all day and you just feel like your shoulders are up at your ears? This is so good for that. I tell you what, you just get on the ground with your foam roller and find a spot in your shoulder that's pretty sensitive and dig into it, and then move your hand up and down like this and have your shoulders feeling relaxed in no time. Okay. Like I said, it's okay if you need to kind of reposition it to different areas. All right, so now we're going to try working that on the left shoulder. So switch it around. And we're working in the edge of the foam roller into that upper trap area on the left side. You are going to love the stretch I have for you here. What we're going to do next. It is for any of you who are desk workers, and even those of you who are not, if you have a chair, which who doesn't sit at a chair at some point during the day, you can do this stretch. It's really effective in releasing neck and shoulder tension at the same time. I think you're really going to like it. All right, just a few more seconds here, and then we'll get into the stretching of this upper trap muscle. Okay. All right. So we're going to use a chair for this last stretch here. The upper trap goes from about here to here. So what we need to do is open up that space. So what we're going to do when we sit on the chair is we're going to start with the left side and pull the head to the side like this. Pull the head, the right ear to the right shoulder. And then we're going to grab under the chair with our left hand. And that's where the real sweet spot is getting that bit of the stretch. So starting, sitting on the chair, we're going to pull the right ear to the right shoulder. And now with the left hand, I want you to grab under the chair. You don't need to do anything except for just anchor yourself there. You don't have to grab hard. You're just anchoring yourself there so that your scapula kind of gets pulled down as you pull that right ear to the right shoulder. Doesn't that feel good? And that's getting all that area that we just massaged. Relax. Good. Deep breath here. I'm gonna give you a little quick bonus stretch here. So right now we've got the right ear to the right shoulder. Just twist your head a little bit. Keep that left arm in the same position. Twist your head so that your nose is kind of like you're trying to pull your nose into your right armpit. That feels really good too, because now you're getting what's called the levator scapula. It's like right next to that upper trap muscle. It's a similar area, but also gets really tight when you have shoulder tension. It's definitely very relative. So if you're trying to combat shoulder tension, do both of these stretches. All right, switch sides. So we are going to be pulling the left ear to the left shoulder. Grab the bottom of the chair with that right hand to anchor yourself there. And just deep breath as you're letting your left ear sink to your left shoulder. Oh, this feels good. This is the antidote for having the ears up to the shoulders, right? We're doing the opposite now. So you can do this. This really helps. Now let's twist like you were aiming your nose for your left armpit. And now you're kind of pulling on the back of your head so you can pull your head more down in that direction. Right arm still in that same spot anchoring the chair, but you are twisting your head so you can aim your nose for your left armpit, pulling behind your head. All right, okay. Oh, hope everyone has a more relaxed neck, back, hips, everything. Thank you for joining me for the stretch and roll. Hope everyone feels good, and I will see you soon.